Can't work out here without my damn mosquitoes. Boy, if I had people that could show up like these mosquitoes. Man. Turbo Man, yeah, that's me. Alright, man, this is Junior Green. Don't worry, I'm on it, same thing. What we're doing today is we're adjusting the valves on a 9VTEC B18. What you need for this job is jack stand, something to take the tires off with, 10mm ratchet, flathead, 12mm wrench, 2 filler gauges, 01, 007, 008, and a 13/16 to turn the crank bolt so you can adjust the valves in your car. First thing you gotta do is break your bolts loose. I already broke mine loose. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna jack that thing up. Lock the back wheel. Jack stand.
Here we go. Let's just imagine that I got power tools. Cause I don't. Well, actually I do have power tools. So why am I doing it with this? I don't know.
So what do you do if you have oil on the bottom of these? I don't have oil on mine, but I have had oil all around these, like sopping full of oil. Well, it's usually the valve cover gasket and those little rubber rings that go in there. I'll show you as soon as I pull the valve cover off. So what I do is I just mark them like this real quick. This is the easiest way to do it. And then I always take the last one because you got to make sure it's going to stay. And I wrap it up extra so I know that this one goes on the farthest side. So see how it looks? Alright, just a quick tip, you know, if you decide to do it, it's easy to remember. Alright, what you're going to need is a 10mm. Go ahead and break them loose. Just grab your 2 rags, just for the time being. When you take them off, I like to just put them right up here. Somebody might have a better place for them, but that's just where I put them. And some of these might not come off all the way. That's alright. As soon as you pick it up, it'll come back. Best thing to do is get a new valve cover gasket. Just pull up on it. It'll come right off. Now, first thing you do is look, make sure everything is in place where it needs to be at. These are your valve adjustments. These are your valve adjustments. This gasket, these rings right here, if you have oil inside of your spark plug hole, because it's not supposed to be oil in there, replace these right here. Clean all the oil out of the engine and out of the hole, sorry. Replace these, put new spark plugs in it, and it'll run better. Alright, the size that you will need is a 13/16. The main crank bolt is right here. It's right here. See? See it? Right there. Okay. Alright. So, when you do filler gauges, these that are sticking up to the top are the ones that you adjust first. Okay? Just to make sure you turn it the right way. It is lefty-loosey, righty-tighty. Well, when you're looking at it, if you can turn it to the left, which will be this way, and that means that it's in the loosening position. What you want to do is, you want to take it and go over here. So that means that this needs to be going this way to loosen this nut up.
Well, you want to hold a flathead. It's good if you have an extra hand, somebody that can help you out. So you want to have the flathead
and the adjust nut screw, or whatever you want to call it. You want to have this wrench on the adjust nut. Now, alright, just lightly tap it. This is a 12. For the intake side, this is your intake. All this is your intake. This is your intake right here. So from the intake side, which is on this right here, there's 7. So 0.7. Let me grab my Phillips gauge. I'll show you. All right, I'm back from the store. That was quick. I got a 7.007. You ain't gonna be able to see it. I barely can see it, and I'm looking at it. It's 0.07. So what you do is, they're loose. You want these to be facing up. You want it to have just a little snug on it when you pull it out of the 7 on the intake side. This intake side, because the exhaust side was 0.08. Do the wrench trick. Don't mess it up. Don't risk messing it up. I know it looks crazy or whatever, but don't risk hitting it the wrong way if you're not 100% sure. Just do this. It takes a second. Take the wrench, left it loosey, just like I told you. Put it over the top. Remember the hammer, you know, make sure it's set safely down there. Just an easy tap. I'm not hitting it crazy hard. I'm barely tapping it, just enough to loosen it up. Okay. It just has to be loose. It does not have to come off for you to do this. Alright, it's snug, it's tight on it. Alright. Tighten it up. Alright, then you recheck it after you tighten it up. It should pull. But it should also go in and come back out. You shouldn't have to force it. That is perfect. This you also should be able to hear it coming in and going out. That's what she said. Weak. Okay. Alright, it feels good. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to fast forward through it so you guys don't have to see it. But it's pretty much the same thing on the rest of them. Make sure these are facing up. Make sure these are facing up. Put this on this to loosen it up and to tighten it up. They both have to be on each other like that. Okay, that's all it is. And the 7.7 milligauge goes in. Alright. Alright. them back, make sure they all tight. Alright. And then you put the valve cover gasket back on and your plugs back in and then you crank it up. Alright. Fast forward through that. Alright, what I like to do is I like to get it top dead center before I crank it back up. Alright. Now that I have it back top dead center, I feel more comfortable about starting it. Alright, well, now we'll go back to starting it. Thank you, Jesus! Oh yeah, this sounds way better. Way better. Way better. Probably had a little bit more little smooth to it anyway. And that's a cold start. It ain't started in who knows how long. Last week by this time. Junior Green, don't worry. Hit that like for me. Hit the bell for me. Hit the subscribe for me. Yeah.
Junior Green, don't worry, I am on it. Hit that like for me, hit the subscribe for me, hit that bell for me, yeah. I feel the turbo in every gear, stock car, what's that? Get them things up out of here, loud in my car, all I hear is motor and turbo. In my videos, leave you, yeah, one more. Eat you up in the streets, yeah, like gumbo. Sit back in your seat, cause it's time for me to rumble. No, I don't crumble. No, I don't stumble. Sit back in your seat and watch me rumble. It's showtime, showtime.